All right, Laurent Desjardins has become one of Canada's most social media savvy chefs, thanks in part to his head-turning dishes and a sprinkle of his fun signature charm. His cookbook, Always Hungry, is now available out today in English. And the star chef, with over 2 million followers on Instagram and so much more on TikTok, joins us live in the studio now with some of his mouth-watering creations. Laurent, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So this is very special because this is a milestone for you, having your first cookbook. You started making cooking videos during the pandemic.
That's right.
Quickly talk about, how you kind of quit everything, your day job in the food restaurant industry, to take up making videos on TikTok.
I mean, I didn't really quit. The more COVID kind of made me put me everything on break, and I was like, I gotta do something to just stay sane, right? So videos with my girlfriend, and it just kind of picked up on TikTok. And 2 years later, here we go on CTV. There you go.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love how, in your introduction of your book, you keep it so real, and you say that, hey, you've suffered from imposter syndrome. I'm sure you don't feel that anymore now that you've created
a
your
little
own
bit,
thing.
but it's not as bad.
Yeah,
We all do in a way, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so let's talk about this, because you're sharing some of your viral recipes today.
Yes.
What is the first one we have here? It looks like a flank steak sandwich.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, steak sandwich. We also have the
Can I pick it up?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Go for it. Yeah, open it. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. So tell us about
some caramelized
this.
onion with some maple syrup, with some balsamic vinegar, some beautiful mayo with some Dijon. Just like I think an all-time favorite
gosh.
for everyone.
Okay,
I like a good steak sandwich. Get in there.
Is that
Get
okay?
in there. It's never too early for a steak sandwich, right?
Wow,
There you go.
so good. What is the secret? Is it the caramelized onion in here? Or?
It's the love. That's what it is.
It's the love, yeah.
It's always love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nick's going to come in here and take a few bites.
There you go.
And then we have desserts. I love my carbohydrates. This is more of a dessert.
Yeah.
This is the
blondie.
The blondies
yeah, with white
blueberry.
chocolate and blueberry. Yeah, very good. You have the fresh blueberry, the compote as well. Just also, just easy one to make. Just always good.
So how do you go from because I know you have a lot of savory dishes and you make it very simple for people, but you're also baking, you're also doing salads. So
yeah,
how did you develop this repertoire for so many different flavors?
I honestly just go with the flow, to be honest. I've been also working in a bunch of restaurants, so kind of get inspiration from there, but also from traveling, going to the market, going to a bunch of restaurants, always kind of keeping,
oh my gosh, look at this.
keeping keep it relevant, just kind of explore what's trendy, what's good, and just
oh my gosh,
just make it fun, keep it fun.
Mouth-watering.
Addictive, right?
Very addictive. You can see why you're always hungry if you're making food this good all the time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Okay. Next up.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you call this the fun punch? I know this is a cucumber drink, right?
Cucumber drink.
Kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
With rum, it's really an all-time fresh drink to have in the summer or winter, but definitely more in the summer. But it's still pretty hot out there, so I think it's good time to have it. But yeah, just
what's in it?
It's mint, cucumber, there's rum. Yeah, so just like a punch of just herb in the face.
Wow. Okay, something to enjoy in the summer, kind of a different take on the mojito or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is exciting, Laurent. You also have a French book tour coming up in France
That's
as well.
right, yeah. It's been out in French in Quebec for almost a year now, but now it's the French tour coming after this, so I'll be in Paris and Marseille and Bordeaux for a week, and exciting stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Laurent, I got to ask you, what is your most favorite recipe of yours that you like to eat?
It's actually in there. It's a mustard rabbit.
Ooh,
yeah, a bit controversial in the U.S. sometimes, but just because I had this dish in France with my dad and my brother under the Pont d'Avignon a while ago. Just the whole experience was really nice, and
amazing.
I made it kind of my way.
Mustard rabbit. Okay, we're gonna have to look at the beautiful illustrations. And if you haven't checked it out, Laurent's Instagram, his TikTok feed, amazing. So easy recipes you could do yourself, and so entertaining. Laurent, let's do the thing, okay? Before we go, let's cook.
That's the intro.
Okay, that's the intro.
That's the intro like this. But then you also have the outro with the fork. Yeah, get your fork.
Yeah, and then we do.
And then you do this like this and you put it back. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
All right, Laurent Desjardins. Thanks. I was supposed to throw a Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Edmonton.
Do you think people are laughing at me?
We're weirdos, but that's what makes us cool.
I don't want to be a weirdo. I want to be her.
Now, there aren't aren't many out there that can say they've released 8 music albums, 9 books, and a new TV series, but Vivek Shraya has done exactly that against many odds and obstacles, and they now join us live here. Vivek Shraya, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Looking absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Walk us through that journey, because that first opening line there, so powerful. Pop star beginnings in Edmonton.
Well, it's meant to be a little bit facetious because I created this show that's basically it's called How to Fail as a Pop Star. And, you know, it's an anti-success story because I think in our culture we're so obsessed with success stories and popularity and likability. And I wanted to talk about like what it's like to go for your dreams and not quite succeed.
And I think that's so relatable, especially, you know, Canada has such a big population of immigrants, first generations.
Totally.
My parents came to this country and they kind of instill a lot of dreams for their children,
Yes.
for us, for their future, putting us on a really high pedestal.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So talk to me a little bit about that, about having that expectation to not only succeed, but really like over succeed, overachieve, and not necessarily living up to that expectation in their eyes, potentially.
I mean, the hard thing about me is that my parents, like a lot of like brown immigrants, my parents wanted me to be a doctor. So I failed a long time ago with them. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, right? Those are the tiers.
Exactly, the golden trio.
But one of the things that's so lovely about this story is it really highlights the way that my mom was actually so supportive of my music. So even though they did kind of want it to be just a hobby, my mom has been like one of the a huge cheerleader for me because she really believed in my voice. So I was really lucky to have that.
It's amazing. And talk to me a little bit more about that journey. You have your book out right now as well. Being an author, being so successful in this field, and of course not only as a person of color, but a transgender woman as well. Walk me through how that journey is unique to you specifically.
Oh, geez. I mean, I feel like every industry that I've tried to approach, as you've mentioned all of them, it's challenging. Like every industry I've experienced racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia. So I think, you know, trying to be an artist and when you're marginalized, there's all kinds of systemic barriers that are working against you and you have to like push through every single time. So it's definitely been a challenge.
Of course, and talk to me a little bit about taking a break from that, because being an advocate, it's hard, right? You want to take those breaks away. So what advice do you have to people who are in the community who do want to sometimes just take a step back?
You can't afford to take a break. No, I'm joking. No, I mean, I don't know. I think the older I've gotten, one of the things I was just saying to my friend this morning is that like I'm really trying to honor celebration. I'm trying to honor rest, trying to honor those times to just go get a pedi, you know, get a facial, just enjoy your life because yeah, I think so much of what's been ingrained in me is a hard work ethic, especially when I look at my parents and their feelings like they need to prove themselves in this country at all times. And that's been so deep-seated in me. And the older I get, the more I realize actually what I want more than anything is to be happy, to have fun. And there's no point in doing any of this if you're not having fun. So breaks are really, really important, even if it's just you sitting at home. The other thing that like I think is so important is we don't talk about the ways that idea generation happens in breaks. We think breaks are just lazing around and relaxing. But at all times, if you're a creative being, ideas are always forming. You're always looking around at inspiration, right? So breaks are part of the process. Honor the break, embrace the break.
I love that, and that it can still be productive even when you are relaxing.
Exactly.
Oh, Vivek Shraya, thank you so much for joining us on this couch. It's been an absolute honor.
Well, we all know our next guest, Chef Michael Smith, certainly no stranger to the spotlight, hosting multiple cooking shows and chef competitions.
His latest book, Farmhouse Vegetables, focuses on plant-based farm-to-table meals. Chef Michael Smith, thanks so much for making it all the way down from your home base in Prince Edward Island to join us in person this morning. I must say, you know, I've followed your storied career. You're cooking since 17. Head chef at 22, but what made you want to move to PEI and focus on, you know, culinary farming and this plant-based approach? Because that's kind of the focus of your book,
Sure,
right?
Thank you. Yeah, very straight ahead. I was cooking in New York City at the time. This is 30 plus years ago. And I might have been working in one of the best restaurants in America, but it was pretty rotten in the kitchen. And I just found myself drawn to the idea of moving to the country, meeting some farmers, planting a garden, and look at me 30 years later. The culinary farm that we've established at the Inn is one of the most amazing farms in this country. It's really something. Diversity, we're growing 300 plus types of plants, 12 basils, 9 mints, you know, we grow it all. And most importantly, From the day we created that farm, it's been about integrating education into the farm. So we don't just harvest produce, we harvest knowledge, and we really do. So many cooks, so many guests have come and connected with this farm in a very meaningful way. You know, you nurture a seed through its life cycle all the way to harvest, and then you hold that thing in your hands, you look at it a little differently.
Yeah.
And that's what this book is all about. Let's put vegetables on the pedestal.
Yeah.
That's what this book is all about.
And it's interesting because I think people think they know vegetables, but clearly when they come to your farm, they learn a whole lot more than they've expected.
Yes.
And also in this book, you were telling us you've been able to write some essays here, really sort of helping people understand them even more. What is this educational focus for?
Well, it's about connecting to food. We're sort of absent the supplier in our midst. We're distant from that person, and we lose their stories, and it changes how we see food. So just diving in, touching it, living it, breathing it, learning it, hands in the soil. There's nothing like it. You know, the book is not an anti-meat book. I mean, it really reflects, I think, how we all eat these days. I think we find ourselves craving the things that go with the meat more than the meat itself. You know, so let's give vegetables the creative passion, the integrity that we afford to meat. Yeah. That's what the book is all about.
Right, and your restaurant at the Inn at Bay Fortune, Fireworks, is doing very well. You've also opened up a sister restaurant. What is it like kind of operating these two, I won't call them conglomerates, but it's a big business and running a farm and also still having a heavy hand in the cooking? Look,
we have over 100 people working for us at the Inn, and we wouldn't be here successful after 9 years if we hadn't cracked the code and created a proper kitchen culture. If there's anything I'm proud of, it's that.
Wow.
It's that opportunity to come and work with us and learn. That's what our farm is for. You know, our cooks spend their days on this farm. They start their days. They work on the farm. They come from all over the world to be with us as a result. It's very compelling.
Yeah, it's good to get more understanding. Certainly wish we had some more time, Chef Smith, but I think you're highlighting the point that really farmers feed our cities, and this book is going to help us sort of feed ourselves and enjoy those veggies as we walk through the aisles. Good to talk to you this morning. Thanks
Likewise. Have a grand day, everybody.
Thank you so much,
well.
Chef Michael Smith. Appreciate it.
Farmhouse vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This book is out today, by the way, and I really want to ask you quickly, if you go dining at a restaurant, what's the first thing you look for as a criteria? That's our question to viewers this
First
morning.
thing, when I walk in, the first thing I want to do is go see the chefs walk in. Give me 3 seconds in any chef's walk-in on this planet, I'll tell you everything you need to know about that restaurant.
I bet you see a lot more than we would see, Chef. Again, thank you so much. Yeah.
All the best.
Okay, thank you so much.
You say the boys are going to play like you, but the chirping and the lumber and the running around have always been your game. So if I keep this team going, how are you going to raise your game? What are you going to do differently?
Hey, we found a segment of Shoresy we didn't have to bleep. Yeah, the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs will be playing again in the all-new season of Shoresy. So for more on Season 2, the return of the popular spin-off series from Letterkenny, we're joined this morning by Tassie Tellez and Jordan Nolan. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for being here this morning. That looked like quite a serious scene for a show that is so quirky and funny and full of profanity. What's the story about Season 2 here, Tassia?
Well, in Season 2, we're back. We're trying to win a record league. We're also facing the Americans this year, which is a big deal for us. So we're trying to get Shoresy, to get the boys in line and have some wins here.
Yeah. Jordan, what have you enjoyed about doing Season 2 versus Season 1 of Shoresy? How has it been different?
I think just being more comfortable, really. I think the first season, you don't really know what's going on, and you're coming in there pretty fresh. And then this year, everyone's nice and close and have a lot more fun and kind of do a little more experimenting. So it's been good.
I remember when we talked about this show last year, Season 1, about the outtakes, because you said it was just hysterical on set, how wild, raucous, and probably raunchy it actually got. Was it just the same? Like, is that level there? Because as Jordan said, you guys are so much closer and tighter now?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together off set, and it's been really great to have that cohesion so that when we get to set, we have that comfortability with each other. The jokes fly. We're taking, risks with each other, and we're just having a lot of fun. So that brings a lot to the show, yeah.
And how much, Jordan, do the viewers actually get to see of that? Like, do some of those lines stick? Maybe different chirps or something like that may not have been in the script?
I think so. I think, just hanging out in the room, we're learning things about each other. We're learning how someone talks, and then Kiesel's throwing those into the script. So, it's a lot of fun, and we're excited for Season 2 to come out.
Yeah, for sure. Tassia, how do you explain the success of Shoresy? Because it's so original, it is so completely different than almost anything ever produced really in Canadian television.
I mean, how do I explain it? I explain it like a kind of Shakespearean Canadiana style on its own. It's so original. There's literally nothing else like it out there, which is so impressive, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. It's just, Canadian comedy, you know, like we have a lot of hockey in Canada, we have a diverse country, and all of that is reflected in the show, as well as, you know, our funny little Canadian quirks.
Yeah,
so.
for sure, absolutely, and it entices. You know, there's hockey involved. You know, the swearing, the fights, the beer drinking, all that kind of stuff. Jordan, how would you make a pitch to someone who may not have seen season 1? How would you say, hey, you've got to watch season 2? Why? What's your sales pitch?
No, I just think it's a lot of fun. I think every Canadian loves hockey. Every Canadian plays senior hockey. Everyone has those guys on their team and who are their friends. So I think everyone's going to see themselves in these characters. And I think the representation is pretty special. And it's, if you like fun, good shows, and check it out.
This is the show to check out, indeed. All right, Tasha, Jordan, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much. Good luck with season 2. Let's have you back here for season 3 sometime. Okay, take care. All right, yeah, the keg's gonna get tapped, and we're gonna roll out the barrels as Oktoberfest, Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest, is really gonna kick into high gear for a full month of activities, food, fun, of course, some beverages as well. It's the largest Bavarian cultural festival outside of German borders. So let's take a look at what's in store this year for Oktoberfest. Joining me now are Alan Cayenne, the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest Board President. Hello. Thank you for Alan. And of course, Tracy Van Kalsbeek is the Executive Director of Oktoberfest. Great to have you here as well this morning.
Awesome.
We've got a great German-Bavarian spread here as well. But before we get into the food, which I definitely want to do, I want to talk about Oktoberfest itself.
Yep.
What year are we in, and what can we expect this year, Alan?
Oh, for sure. So this is the 55th year of the festival, and really we have something for everyone when it comes to Oktoberfest. So we have family activities, we have Dogtoberfest, Kidtoberfest, we have all of our Festhalens that have that cultural experience. So you can go get the authentic food, you can go and, you know, see the polka dancing, hear the music. There's so much involved in the festival, and of course we have the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is the largest in Canada.
Yeah, that's amazing. That parade is amazing if you've never checked it out before. Tracy, let's talk about this. You know, you've been involved with Oktoberfest for so long. What keeps you coming back? Why are you so connected and engaged with it?
Yeah, so I've been a volunteer for almost 20 years, and then most recently at the beginning of this year, our executive director retired, and since July, I am now the new executive director of KW Oktoberfest. Yeah. So, you know, it's all about community coming together and celebrating that, being Bavarian with us for a day type of a thing. So cultures coming together and experiencing what that is in our community.
Yeah, I mean, let's point out the maybe not obvious, but the truth here is neither of you necessarily have German-Bavarian heritage, but it's just the Kitchener-Waterloo area is so rich with it and so kind of full of it that you can't help but kind of be connected to it. So let's talk about the food, because this, of course, is part of any good festival. Tracy's clapping. Alan, I'll start with you over here. These dumplings, sorry, not dumplings, wontons. Explain these, because what's in here will blow some people's minds.
Yeah, so what we've tried to do this year is really do almost a CNE type take on some of our traditional Bavarian foods. So what we have here is brownie batter with some dried sauerkraut in it, deep fried in a wonton, and then we top it with some candied sauerkraut. Your brain is not going to figure out what's going on, but it all works together so well, and it's so delicious. It complements each other amazingly.
The sweet, the savory, a bit of tang there.
We work with Chef D, and he's come up with a whole ton of these sort of fusion dishes for us, so lots of stuff for people to experience. He's got this Oktoberfest poutine and Oktoberfest pizza, Thanksgiving Day poutine. There's just so many incredible fusion dishes for people to try.
Cabbage rolls. What else is here? I mean, we can see what that is. So, what do we got here?
So we have some of our authentic cabbage rolls from one of our German clubs, the Concordia clubs. So I was talking about the food at the Festhallen, and they each have these great traditional foods that they make, from cabbage rolls to rollbraten to spätzle. We got schnitzel, sausage on a bun with sauerkraut, and of course the classic Black Forest cake dessert.
Yeah, I mean, what would Oktoberfest be without Bavarian Black Forest cake? I mean, that looks so mouthwatering. And Bill, you know, Bill smelled the food from the weather center, and so he's like Toucan Sam. He followed his nose up here.
Well, let's get Bill one.
Well, Bill eats that. Let's talk about Kartoffelsalat
und ein Lager Bier.
He's just making that up.
Hören Sie das Beispiel und
Let's
jetzt
talk
beginnen
about
Sie
some of
bitte.
the acts that we're going to be seeing here, because you've got some pretty big Canadian bands.
We really do. Yeah, absolutely. Stuff kicked off for us last week, absolutely, at Binghamton's, and they have a great concert series. So this weekend alone, they have Finger 11 coming and the Trues, and then next week, starting the 5th, we have our big block party that's happening downtown Kitchener at the Gaukel Block, with the Roadhammers featured, as well as some other cool bands that are local, and we've got the Dorf Rockers coming straight from Germany, so it's a really cool mashup of different music. And then for the rest of the weekend, we've got a vendor market. Alan talked about Kidtoberfest and Dogtoberfest, something for everybody. We've got selfie stations, the food programming. It's just going to be amazing.
I have been. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I've been a couple of times too. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. So, Kitchener Waterloo Oktoberfest kicking off Sunday.
Yeah, well, it's already underway.
No, tonight. My bad.
So we have lots of
October,
events going on from now all the way through till October 14th.
The food distracted my dates.
Yes,
Okay.
it does that a lot.
Thank you both for being here.
Yeah.
Danke.
Right?
Eins, zwei,
And
drei.
Wiedersehen.
Oh!